Welcome, everyone. Okay, today's explainer is going to be incredibly fun because we're diving headfirst into the fascinating and honestly downright chaotic rules of the English language. And the absolute best part? We're relying entirely on the ultimate authorities to help map out this madness for us. We're talking top-tier dictionaries like Merriam-Webster, Cambridge, Oxford, and Vocabulary.com, right alongside elite test prep tools like Youglish and Magoosh. We're going straight to the sources. So, let's get right to it.
Quick question for you. Is the common phrase nip it in the bud or nip it in the butt? Seriously, say it out loud to yourself right now. I guarantee you a huge percentage of you just paused for a second. And maybe, just maybe, you've actually been saying the second one your entire life. It's okay, it happens. This is actually one of the most common, hilarious auditory illusions out there, and it perfectly sets up our journey today into the unique properties and, well, traps built right into everyday English.
All right, for those of you sweating slightly right now, the correct phrase is nip it in the bud, like a flower bud. Merriam-Webster actually has a whole video dedicated to stopping people right there when they use the wrong version. They introduced this absolutely brilliant linguistic concept called an eggcorn. So an eggcorn happens when our ears completely deceive us and we replace a word with a similar sounding one that kind of still makes logical sense in a weird way. Like nipping a problem in the bud makes sense, right? You're stopping it before it grows. But nipping it in the butt? Well, you're still stopping it, just a little bit more aggressively. It just goes to show how easily our own language tricks us.
Section 1. Shifting meanings when dictionaries adapt. Okay, let's dive into this. English isn't just tricky because we mishear things. It's tricky because the actual definitions of words are literally shifting right beneath our feet. We tend to think of dictionaries as these strict, unchanging rulebooks, right? But as our sources show us, they're actually living documents that adapt to how we, the speakers, mess up the language. Just look at this incredible quote straight from Merriam-Webster's grammar section regarding the word literally. The article poses the question, did we change the definition of literally? And their answer? Literally, every modern dictionary includes this definition. Because people have misused the word literally for so long, using it to mean figuratively for dramatic effect, dictionaries actually had to adapt and just add that figurative definition right in. The mistake literally became the rule. It's a perfect example of what you should take away from this. Language is defined by its users, not the other way around.
Section 2. Spelling and pronunciation traps. Moving right along to those confusing words that look completely different from how they sound. These are the spelling and pronunciation traps that keep dictionary publishers in business. Gray with an A versus gray with an E. I mean, which one is actually right? If you've ever second-guessed yourself while writing an email, believe me, you are not alone. As Merriam-Webster playfully points out in their grammar guide, when it comes to spelling, it's not all black and white. Both of these are entirely valid spellings. It really just comes down to regional differences, like British versus American English, but they mean the exact same thing. It's a mild trap, sure, but it makes us doubt ourselves constantly.
But then we get into the truly maddening historical quirks. Consider this rhetorical question straight from a Merriam-Webster video title. Why is there a C in indict? And who put it there anyway? I mean, you say indict, but you spell it with a C. Why? Well, it's because English spelling is deeply influenced by the chaotic history of other languages just crashing into it over centuries. Basically, we kept the Latin spelling, but we kept the French pronunciation, leaving us modern speakers to just, memorize the mess.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer volume of silent letters we just tolerate in English. Merriam-Webster highlights 10 words ending with a silent T. And the spoiler alert, which is right there in their article, they all come from French. We're talking words like debut, ballet, depot. Our dictionaries are essentially graveyards of borrowed foreign pronunciations that we've just never bothered to update phonetically.
And hey, if you think you're the only one struggling with all this, you're really not. Merriam-Webster's live data of top lookups right now reveals that at any given moment, thousands of people are scrambling to understand words like curacao, Daphne, ampere, pediment, and yes, even Heine. This rapid-fire list perfectly illustrates just how many obscure, historically confusing, or honestly just downright weird words people are battling with right this second. We're all actively trying to decode this language every single day.
Section 3. Tools for word mastery.
But don't worry, we aren't just here to marvel at the chaos. Our source materials provide some pretty incredible tools for word mastery. Let's look at how you can actually conquer these linguistic traps. One of the absolute most fascinating resources mentioned in our research is Youglish. So Youglish is designed to help you master pronunciation naturally by pulling real-world clips from all over the internet. Instead of staring at those confusing phonetic dictionary symbols that, let's be real, most of us don't know how to read anyway, Youglish just shows you real people natively speaking the exact word in actual context. For example,
Youglish suggests searching for basic words like power or courage, but it specifically calls out tricky phrases like coup de grace. Remember those silent French letters we were just talking about? Well, if you search coup de grace on Youglish, you instantly get a feed of clips showing native speakers pronouncing that tricky French origin phrase flawlessly in speeches or interviews. It completely bridges the gap between the text on a page and the actual sound.
Now, on the dictionary side, if you're looking to build a massive, solid base, especially if you're an ESL learner or prepping for a major test, the Oxford Learners Dictionaries provide the Oxford 3000 and Oxford 5000 word lists. These aren't just random vocabulary words. They are the absolute core vocabulary of the English language. Mastering these foundational lists, which categorize words by difficulty level, from A1 all the way up to C1, it ensures you have the structural bricks you need before you start worrying about the weird decorative stuff. And speaking of tests, for those of you trying to master English for something like the GRE, you need serious tools. And this brilliantly illustrates the modern approach to studying. Traditional premium prep courses can cost upwards of $500, offering mostly text-based explanations and absolutely no AI support. Magoosh, on the other hand, comes in at a super affordable $149. It gives you an AI tutor, video explanations for every single question, and, this is absolutely crucial, they are the only course actually licensed to use official ETS practice questions.
The real-world impact of using structured, AI-guided tools like this to conquer language and math traps is just huge. Take this testimonial from a student named Elise K, provided in the Magoosh materials. She states, and I quote, "Magoosh's personalized, detailed analytics and challenging practice problems help me drill into my exact areas of weakness, taking me from a 154 to a 170 Q in just 3 weeks. I mean, wow, that is a massive jump, and it shows exactly why having the right guide through the wilderness of standardized testing is absolutely vital."
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Think about those acorns. Think about the silent letters we talked about. What words have you been mispronouncing or misspelling your entire life? Are you nipping things in the bud or in the butt? I highly encourage you to go investigate your own linguistic habits. Dive into Cambridge, Oxford, or vocabulary.com. Go look up that confusing word you've only ever read in books but have been too afraid to say out loud. The English language is chaotic, for sure, but mastering its quirks is incredibly rewarding. Thanks so much for exploring it with me today.